Hi, we're here at the Meeting Show, and I'm Paul Harvey, the editor of MNIT, and I'm here with Paul Casement, who's the Executive Director of Groups, Meetings and Events at Brighter Events.
Correct.
Hi, welcome to the show, Paul.
Thank you.
Now,
Excited
you're
to be
here today to talk about, Brighter's big rebrand. Can you tell us a bit about the rebrand, please?
Yes, indeed. Well, it's actually a company brand. So it's Clarity has joined forces with Agito, so we've now got a combined brand. So the Clarity brand has been relaunched, and as part of that process, we have redesigned the Brighter brand to really put it at the forefront of what we're doing as well. So we have a specialist division which specialises in groups, meetings, venue finds and full service events, and what we want to do is really position the company going forward as a really creative experiential brand as well. So it's very, very exciting week for us.
Fantastic, yeah, and I guess you're wanting to tell as many people as possible about it.
We do indeed, yeah. I mean, certainly the Brighter brand has been fairly embryonic over the last few years. We had COVID intervening, so we didn't really launch it how we wanted to launch it. So it feels almost like a rebirth for us, because we operate as Brighter internally, but we now need to tell the world about us.
Yeah.
Because we're a pretty major player in the events and meeting space now. So it's now time to start shouting about it.
Absolutely. So, what does it mean then for you as a company to rebrand and?
I think what it is, because the Clarity brand is very, very strong in the travel management company space. And the reason why we've done the Brighter part is because events, meetings are different from transient business travel. It's more creative, it's more about experiences. And we still have the heritage of the meeting side. I mean, we're at the meeting show today, and that's why it's really important that we're here, because, a large bulk of our business is actually about meetings. We're a very high volume operator. We have lots of brilliant relationships with hoteliers and venues, and the majority of what we are doing is actually in the venue space. However, what we also have is the Brighter side, which is the creative events, and we are a full service agency. We do incentives, we do conferences, we do graduations, you name it, we'll do it. But we try to one of our taglines is really, we don't do dull. We want to give you something that's really exciting, that we want to give a really creative spin. If you come down to the stand, you'll see the creativity on the stand. We've got some really clever people in the organisation.
Absolutely
on that side.
Well, I guess that's why you're called Brighter.
It is. And the Brighter part is, the Brighter is actually quite an interesting device that we use, because Brighter is the overall brand, but we also use it for like Brighter events. We do university field trips, for instance, so it's Brighter field trips. We do Brighter venues. So we use the Brighter part as the first part, and then the servicing is the second part. So it gives us a lot of flexibility in the brand. But what we have to be careful of is that we have a number of customers that are working with us because they've worked with Clarity, the travel management part of the business. We don't want to alienate those because they've been working with us for years. So we still operate on the Clarity side as well.
Absolutely.
So it's a real partnership.
Yeah. So I'm just thinking, in terms of groups and meetings and events, I was just wondering what trends you're seeing at the moment. I mean, in 2024, what's the general feeling out there in the sector?
I think the biggest thing is that we've gone from extreme short-term planning, which was really as a result, I think, of COVID. I suspect that quite a lot of this has been done because the ways that people work are now changed. So there is a requirement for much more meetings. They're bringing teams together, not necessarily in the office. But we're now seeing much more longer term planning, and we've got events plans for 2025 and 2026 now. Even a year or so, that was unheard of. Very short lead times. Literally, we used to have people ringing up saying we want to do a meeting on Monday, and this would be a Friday. The other thing that has changed a little bit now is the capacity of venues is now opening up a little bit more. We're now seeing that actually with better planning, you can get better prices and better availability of the venues, because I still think up to about 18 months ago there were still capacity issues. There was bottlenecks in actually servicing customers. So we're now seeing that side of it. In terms of what we're being asked, sustainability is probably the thing we're asked about the most.
Yeah.
And it's tricky one. We do a lot of work on actually measuring the sustainability of events. We go right down to granular detail, right down to the type of vegetables that are on the menu. Yeah. We will do all the CO2 on it, and we can do a net zero report. But we're now finding that is becoming much more of a common theme. Only thing about it is that it tends to come at a price. If you are going for sustainability, it tends to cost you more. And
that is the thing that clients say about it. Are you getting any clients kind of balking at the price? Are they backing off,
I think what we get is you'll get like it's almost like the gold, silver, and bronze options. And you've got the gold standard, which is like the full analysis and the full sustainability, the full end to end. And then you will have clients that are not necessarily that concerned about it, and then you'll get the middle ground, and we find the middle ground is where most people actually operate. We do have clients that are leading the way, though. I mean, we have a number of clients which are incredibly it's a very important thing. It's part of their company values. We have one client who's probably leading a couple of clients actually leading the way in this sector, and what they're doing is that they're pushing us. We have an amazing tool that we have, Meetings Pro, which is an amazing tool for the venue find side, and they're pushing us to show green venues, all the carbon emissions and everything else. So that we're working very closely with our customers, and because the tool is ours, we can make those adjustments. So that we're leading the way on that side of it. But absolutely. I think there's still a gap between client expectations and what can actually be delivered. At the moment, but it's certainly probably the number one subject at the moment.
Oh, okay. And just finally, I'm just interested in what budgets are like at the moment. Are budgets still tight?
What are budgets like? That's a really good question. The expectation tends to be over the budgets. I think the budgets are improving. I think we've slightly moved away from the champagne taste and beer money stage, which we were in for quite a long time. But I think it's not necessarily budgets. People are looking for value. Yeah, and I think that's the key thing, is that the budgets are there, but clients are looking, and as a company, we're looking for value as well. So we want to get, the budget is always going to be at forefront, but what you want to be checking is what is it you're getting for that budget. Yeah. And I think that's really much more of a question nowadays. But the budgets, I wouldn't say they're certainly not at the levels pre-COVID. Yeah. We are seeing larger events and certainly bringing people together, but I would say the per delegate price is still below where they were pre-COVID. But I also think that the way that companies are now doing events, we're doing a lot of hybrid events. Hybrid is still very much a norm now. We're not doing
interesting.
We're not doing too many virtual now, although we did do a couple of virtual events last week. But I think companies are now looking at how they can make the most of an event, and then that's why you're getting people dialing in. But also, hybrid is not a cheap option either, because you need quite a lot of tech to do it. But we are seeing that hybrid is pretty common still, but virtual less so at the moment.
Okay, brilliant. Oh, well, that just about wraps things up. Thank you very much for joining me, Paul.
Pleasure.
Thanks a lot. Cheers.